And the next World Heavyweight Champion is... It's the O Wrestling Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you hit that bell on YouTube and subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcasting app. So, to answer that question, who is the next best WWE Heavyweight Champion of the world? It's Drew McIntyre. That's right, people. It's 100% going to be Drew McIntyre. And that's coming from a guy who doesn't work in the industry. So, I was taking a look at the rumor mill, and it sounds like Jade Cargill from AEW is headed to WWE. And it got me thinking. She had an interview where she basically said, oh, I love Tony Khan, and I love working here, and I love what I do here, and it's great, and blah, blah, blah. And apparently she had a match with Statlander for the title, a rematch. She lost clean, came off like a babyface, gave the crowd her final goodbye, her final wave, and everyone in the crowd apparently felt like it was her saying goodbye to AEW. And now there are rumors going around backstage in AEW and WWE, allegedly, that Jade is headed to WWE. Now, how does this work back into Drew McIntyre? Well, I was like, well, of course, she's going to say she loves working for Tony Khan. Of course, she's going to say she loves where she is. That's the company line. If a deal's not in place, you play ball with the company you work for. You never disparage your company. You don't burn bridges, and you don't slap the doorman on the way out, right? So, of course, she would say that in an interview. Who else has said that in an interview? Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre said, well, for all he knows, he's at WWE for the foreseeable future. And I mean, he is. His contract, I don't think, is up until sometime around WrestleMania, maybe. I can't remember the exact date. But of course he'd say, this is where I belong and this is where I'm going to be. But you know where he would be a champion? In AEW. If he left right now and went to AEW, he can definitely claim the AEW World title and be a champ in that company. And that got me thinking, well, he doesn't really have a claim to Roman. He's not going to take on Roman anytime soon. They're on opposite shows. They did that for a reason. But he is on Raw with Seth Rollins. And currently, Seth Rollins is in a program with Shinsuke Nakamura that honestly is not going to go anywhere fast. They had a lot of momentum with Nakamura calling out Seth and his injury to his back, but then he lost clean at Payback. There was no payoff to the whole promo of him working over his back. Seth didn't come out injured. He's been fine. As a matter of fact, Seth has been calling out Nakamura to hand him a rematch for the title for some inexplicable reason. Nakamura has been saying no. He said, I don't want to fight you anymore. I'll fight you when I want to fight you, which doesn't work in the hierarchy of in the hierarchy of championship fights. It's the champ who gets to call the shots, not the challenger. And the fact that Seth continually chases after Nakamura for this rematch that he doesn't have to give him, it's all very confusing. But because I think they fumbled that whole thing in the middle there, maybe they can salvage it, maybe they won't. But I think the next person to challenge for that title is Drew McIntyre. He is a top guy in the company. He's currently a babyface looking for kind of a heel turn, it seems. And if Seth goes over on Nakamura again, Drew can claim one of the top heel spots in the company and then go after Seth. And I think Seth should definitely do the job for Drew. Drew was champ in a thankless time. He had no crowd to cheer him on, and he held the title well. And then he lost it, and he hasn't got his way back to the belt. And we did a whole episode on one-time champs, kind of trying to make their way back to the top and not getting there. Drew is one of those guys. And of course, he's still young, well, quote unquote young, and he has, a long way to go in his career, and he can definitely make it back to the top of the mountain in WWE. But Roman really did hold all the cards for quite a while. And because they had the bloodline storyline, Drew was not fitting into that whole thing. Now that he's on Raw and we have the World Heavyweight Championship, he has an opportunity to become that top spot again. And I don't know about you, but Seth Rollins as the World Heavyweight Champ is wearing a little thin. Seth is a great worker. I'm not taking anything away from him. I couldn't do anything he does, and I respect and, greatly appreciate everything he does in the ring. But this angle with the title is running a little long in the tooth, especially when you consider the caliber of people he's facing. Nakamura is an incredible professional wrestler, and he showed up with an incredible promo. I used incredible twice, guys. That's how you know it's serious. He came in with an amazing promo and didn't take the title. Who is left to take the title from Seth? I think Drew is the perfect candidate. You give him another shot at the top. He's not, Roman level, but then he's like one notch below. He can carry that title in a heel fashion. You can put him in a program with Gunther after that, and maybe they battle it out for that title. And, you have a built-in storyline for that, where Gunther's like, I've destroyed you before multiple times. I'm coming for that World Heavyweight title. And then you can have Drew go over, right? And make him the babyface in the feud. I don't know. I'm fantasy booking right now. But I think if you really think, this makes the most sense. Who else on Raw anyone is capable of holding the World Heavyweight title, but who would convincingly hold it for a very long time? Seth isn't the largest man. He's a very good professional wrestler, but I think someone like Roman came off as like the big dude who can hold the belt and kind of destroy anyone in his way. Even like the Brock Lesnar's, you can see Roman versus him. They kind of match up. But Seth versus a Brock Lesnar, that doesn't work, right? Like, he's not going over on there. But a Drew McIntyre and a Brock Lesnar, it worked when he did it. So I'm thinking of the roster and kind of the people who have been challenging for the World Heavyweight title, and it's all been kind of smaller dudes, It was Finn Balor, it was Nakamura, but there's no like powerhouse guy who's coming to take the title. Big meaty men smacking meat, Gunther's currently locked up with the IC title, making history left and right. Cody Rhodes has stated that he's not going to wrestle Seth Rollins again because they are competing for, top babyface spots, and apparently they don't really get along for whatever reason. I mean, sometimes you just don't like somebody. But again, allegedly, this is all, it could be, storyline based. I don't know. But Cody definitely hasn't messed with Seth this entire time, and it seems like he's going to SmackDown to take on Roman. So who's left? There's Damian Priest, who's holding that Money in the Bank contract and doing absolutely nothing with it. And I guarantee they're waiting to cash that in, and then Finn is going to cost him the match or something. Like, he's not going to win the title with that briefcase. They're using that briefcase to spin up a whole different feud, I feel. Because if not, why hasn't he cashed in yet? Right? They gave him the tag titles, and who knows when he's going to cash in that thing? He only has not a couple months. He has 6 months left? 8 months? Something like that? I don't know. But like I've said in a previous episode, that Money in the Bank contract is an albatross. It is a weight around people's neck. They need to get rid of it. Who else is on Raw? There's the guys from the New Day, so maybe Kofi can go after. Man, no. I want Kofi to win too, but it's Drew, right? Like, it's Drew at this point. He's the strongest dude. He's, over with the crowd. He puts on banger matches. You strap the title on him in front of a crowd, people are going to love it or hate it. I don't know. I don't work for the company. I don't know what's best for business. Is he moving merch? What is the Drew McIntyre merch? I should go check the WWE site. Anyway, what do you think of Drew McIntyre becoming World Heavyweight Champion? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to subscribe, tell a friend or two, and don't you ever forget.
I'm your friend, but if I ever see you in the ring, I can beat you. Don't you know? Yeah.